So we start with Naren Bakshi. Naren, as you know, has been an entrepreneur. He came to the United States after his engineering. He was with UC Berkeley, where he did his MBA. And of course, he had another very interesting addition to just management. He was also into industrial management. He had been a corporate executive, CIO, CXO. And then, of course, he turned to entrepreneurship, took his company to IPO. But as Naren will tell you, he was not a very happy person even after the IPO, because he really wanted to do something about the health. And he started his whole journey at 65, and diabetes was something which was hitting him very adversely. And he's obviously a diabetes health hero along with Mr. Raj Shah, whom you'll hear later, because these are people who have not only reversed their diabetes, but they're assiduously maintaining it. And that's something which is really, really inspiring and empowering. And we're going to hear them. And we'll start today with Naren. So over to you, Naren.
Namaste. I'm calling you from Jaipur, India. Just think, somebody at age 78 wakes up at 5:30, gets ready for a day that will be probably 10, 12 hours long from working hours. So that makes me very, very happy. The reason I'm here today is not to give you education, because we have top 2 endocrinologists who have worked hard, who have seen thousands of patients, and they are going to share with you how best to go about reversing your diabetes. My goal today is to share my story and also let you know that today is a very important day in the movement of health and wellness. That is because we started with education, inspiration by health heroes, and now followed by programs that are very focused on certain ailments. You can have a generic program for chronic diseases. You can have a specific program for diabetes, obesity, and as you know, some programs are very focused on heart. So given this, and then you'll also hear that just by having a program, just by getting something done is not enough. You need to sustain it. So you'll be also hearing from Raj Shah, who will be talking with you about need and value of the support group that he's running. So with that, Som, can you bring my first slide? Let me start here. I'm here to tell you about my health story. If you look at the left, that's what I was in 2000. My company had gone public. I was getting all kinds of support from newspapers, magazines, Fortune magazines, everything. But inside my heart, I was not a happy man. And I was, I could see that I was obese, but it only hit me much deeper when I discovered that I also had diabetes. I knew diabetes is a slow killer, and that really made a difference in terms of my getting focused on doing what I needed to do to move ahead. In 2010, there were no CWCs, there were no programs that we knew of. So I had to figure out a combination of things that worked for me. So what I will tell you is that there are many, many ways you can go and correct the situation, but you must find a way to make it sustainable. That is the bigger thing. Now, one first thing that I learned, which I will repeat. Number one is that it will never happen until you reach a point of saying health is my number one priority. And jokingly, I used to say, when I can go and say to my wife or my children that I will do anything and everything for you unless it hurts my health. So that's number one. And I'm going to only talk about 7 items. So number one is you must reach a point where you say, for whatever reasons, you want to give health your number one priority before even family and before, of course, making money and your passions. because health is life, health is happiness. The second thing that I learned is if you want to sustain something, you should find some way to also go deeper in yourself and figure out why do you want to work hard to completely reverse the situation like you see in me. In my case, I realized, based on my friends' feedback and so on, that Anil Godwani, he said, look, Naren, if you improved, your whole family will improve. Not even that, everyone that becomes a health hero at least impacts 100 people, in some cases thousands of people. There are stories like Raj Shah, Lalit Kapoor, many others who became health heroes and then are dedicating their life to this cause. So please go think through what is the reason you want to do it, and please don't do something that is yo-yo. Yo-yo hurts you. I went to Weight Watchers program. I went to so many programs just because I was focused on my weight. Mistake. Our focus should be to become fit, live healthy and happy life. Weight will come down. So if you remove medication that you are taking because you have diabetic, if you can reverse any other ailments like I used to have, even sleep apnea, hiatal hernia, so many other things, they all come forward for one reason. That is because you have decided to become fit. How do you become fit? Is a combination of things. Combination, and you'll hear that today. There's no question diet plays a very important role, but just think, when I was doing it, Dr. Shamdas was a good friend of mine. He was very focused on breathing exercise, and he was just focused on saying, Naren, I will change your metabolism. He used to come. So a combination of diet and then, of course, intense activity changed my metabolism. But beyond that, it also made a big difference. The next point I want to make you is that I had difficulty in having proper disciplined sleep. Very, very important part. And I learned, it's like there was no courses, nobody to support me. What I learned was that you cannot control when you go to sleep, but you can control when you wake up. So when you wake up, you made up your mind, no matter what, I'm going to wake up before 6. After 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, it becomes your habit. So take one thing at a time and go ahead and just do it. 3-4 weeks, you'll become a habit. The next thing that I want to tell you is that if you are willing, if you have the courage to go public with your goal, public with your close friends and family, it helps a lot. It motivates you. Companies do that. They come up with a plan, they announce what the plan is, the whole company rallies around it. So the important thing that I want you to leave myself is, that's why the name Crack Your Own Wellness Code. Please find some way, as you learn from these techniques that your doctors, Archana and Soham Patel will be sharing, learn to make sure that you figure out some combination of things that really works for you rest of your life. That's really what counts. And the other point I want to make is, like I proved, it is never too late. Now just look what happened. What was important was, look at my chart that you are seeing today. Here is somebody that used to have 235 pounds. Now even today, I just went to my scale, I was still within 150. So that's really what counts. So here is somebody that lost 85, decided that I will be in 5 plus minus bracket, never let it go. So it really makes a difference. With that, I want to just talk about two very more important things. Here in the chart, what you see is, just think all the parameters change. My waist I could see, all my clothes are gone. I still had to throw them away. BMI, of course, completely changed. And I became non-diabetic. Now, after 12 years, every 3-6 months when I go for a blood test, A1C is hovering around 5.3 to 5.5. Now that's what means by reversing. I was able to do it. No diabetic medicine anymore. And of course, the only tiny medicine I take is thyroid. Everything else is gone. If you look at my cholesterol, my LDL, uh, my doctors say you are a heart health hero. Why? Because my pulse rate is even below 40. They were very worried about it. But then what happened? As they check me, they even put a monitor. They said, come on, it is only because you have now become very healthy. And that makes me happy. So, with that, I will come back to two more items. Must find a way to measure. You cannot manage until you measure. What do I mean by measure? Look, there is a little ring that I have, wearable. There is a there is a watch I have. There is a weighing machine I have. Every day, every other day, I go and scale. It records. Periodically, I can also check my blood pressure. So what I'm saying is, please make sure that you take 5, 7 of your parameters, along with how many steps you walk, are all gets recorded. Now the good thing is, all of those tools are available at reasonable cost today. Weren't there 10, 12 years ago. So now you have the opportunity in this. And the final thing, become part of a community. When I say community, generally speaking, most of the times, similar people attract each other. So if your friends and family are focused on health, will be easier for you. What we are trying to do in CWC, Bay Area, if we could create 5,000 people that become part of a membership team, they become part of a community. Each one of them impacts 100. So just think, 500,000 Indians getting impacted because of the fact that we create a community. That's what it is. So with this, the only last I want to say is CWC now has reached a point where it will be releasing its app next quarter. And that gives you one more tool along with the support groups to really make your journey better. The final thing, the reason I'm in Jaipur is because we brought this movement to India with the launch of CWC India Foundation that is running at my ancestral properties, a wellness resource center of its kind, first one. I believe many more will happen. And finally, I can tell you that at the moment, although in the past I've been very associated with promoting entrepreneurship at TAI, I was part of India Community Center, have been for the last 20 years. But now my final purpose in life is to give back through health and wellness and part of this movement. And with this, Raj, I will leave it to you to ask any questions later on. Thank you very much.